Hello friends, welcome back to the course on C programming. This is my second video on the chapter pointers. In last video in part 1, we have taken introductory aspects of pointers and we've seen how pointers can be declared, how pointers can be initialized, how pointers can be used to access memory variables. In this video, we are going to see how pointers can be used with arrays, how pointers can be used with functions and with structures. So let us start understanding usage of pointers with arrays. So let's have an example. So let us make a small program to understand the usage of pointers with array. So we have one array called ARR with 5 elements in it, and there are some initial values assigned to it. ARR 0 is 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So ARR 0 to ARR 40. Now we have one pointer variable that is again of type integer, and one variable I which we'll be using in that loop for running the loop from I equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is just a variable for the loop. So we have, this is nothing but the illustration of array in main memory. So we have array of 5 elements starting from, we know that in our array chapter, array always starts from 0. So array 0, ARR 0, ARR 1, ARR 2, 3, 4, and these are all its values. And let us assume some addresses also. Again, as we have discussed in our last video, addresses could be anything. When you run the program, you may get different address. So you don't need to worry about the exact number in the address part. So over here I have taken some examples like 1000, 1002, 1004, 1006, 1008. And why there is a jump of 2 bytes over here? We have seen in our last video that because this is of type integer, and integer requires 2 bytes. So each of these location is of 2 bytes. So 2 byte, 2 byte, 2 byte, 2 byte and 2 bytes. So total 10 bytes. So that's why the jump is 2 bytes. So 1000 and 1001. These 2 bytes are for 10, then 1002 and 1003. These 2 bytes are for 20, 1004, 5 for 30, 6, 7 for 40, and 8 and 9 for 50. Now we have one pointer also, star PTR. So that PTR I am showing over here. Now I am putting, now this is important. Now you need to pay attention over here. Now PTR equal to ARR. Now ARR is nothing but my array, and I have not put anything over here, not ARR 0, ARR 1. So we have not used, till so far we have not used any array like this. We have always specified the array with some index, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe I or j, anything. So when you refer any array by its name without index, that means that is nothing but the address of the entire array. I repeat, when you refer any array with its name but without any index, without the square bracket thing or without ij anything, then this ARR, name of the array, indicates the address of entire array. And let me add one more line. Address of entire array is nothing but address of the first element of array. That means in this case the address of first element is 1000. So 1000 is address of entire array, as well as 1000 is address of the first element of array. So this is something that you need to remember. Address of entire array is equal to address of very first element of the array. So this statement can also be written as PTR equal to ampersand ARR 0. Now in this case we are explicitly specifying a location ARR 0. So ARR 0 is the first element and address of ARR 0 is 1000. So whether you write like this or you write like this, it will be the same thing. In both these cases, this 1000 will be assigned into PTR. Now let us move forward. So now we are running a simple loop for I equal to 0 and I less than 5. So I equal to 0, I equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3 and I equal to 4. So this will be repeated 5 times. So what am I printing? I'm printing star PTR. So star PTR, we know that the contents being pointed by PTR. So what is being pointed by PTR? ARR 0. And what is the content? 10. So star PTR is 10 and PTR is 1000. So it will print 10 and 1000 like this, 10 stored at 1000. So it will print 10 stored at 1000. Then I'm writing PTR plus plus. What is PTR? 1000. And plus plus means it will not be 1001, it will be 1002. Why? Because this is an integer pointer and integer requires 2 bytes. So increment will be of 2 bytes. So it will be 1002. And we know that 1002 is address of the ARR 1. So now when I again run the loop second time, when I print star PTR, what is star PTR? Contents being pointed by PTR. So this time it is 20 and PTR is 1002. So it will be 20, 1002. Next time it will be 30, 1004. The next time it will be 40, 1006. And last time when I equal to 4, because this loop is to be repeated 5 times. So when it runs the last time, the answer would be 1008 and 50. So 50 is stored at 1008. So this is what you are going to get. So this is how we can combine the usage of pointer with array. So let us have one more example on arrays, so that will make your fundamentals very clear, and then you can make use of pointer in arrays too. So this is a simple array example. I have taken this from our earlier videos on array. So it has no sign of pointer, and later on in next slide I'll show you how this program can be written using pointer. So this is very simple program to finding out maximum from a given array. So let's say this is something which I want in my output. First it will ask me to enter some numbers, let's say 5. Then it will ask me to enter all those 5 numbers, let's say 10, 50, 30, 80, 35. These are the 5 numbers that I have entered, and then it should give me the highest value. So it should print max equal to 80. So this program has, we have already seen this program in our array. So it is the same concept. We have one array called num10, one max. Then we are asking how many elements. So first thing is, it will ask me total elements. So total elements, when I enter 5, this 5 will go in n. So n will be 5. And then it will ask me enter elements. So it will ask me enter elements. And then I am entered in a loop. I equal to 0, I equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3, I equal to 4. So I'll be entering ampersand num0, num1, num2, num3, num4. So I'll be entering 5. So num0 is 10, num1 is 50, num2 is 30, num4 is 80, sorry, num3 is 80, and num4 is 35. And every time I'll be comparing, immediately after reading the number, I'll be comparing with max. If that number is greater than maximum, in that case I'll assign that number into max. If it is not the case, I'll skip the part and I'll continue with the next number. So let us try to understand. So first thing is, if I enter 10, so it will go in num0. So then I'll compare num0 with max. What is the initial value of max? 0. So 10 is greater than 0? Yes. So in that case I'll assign 10 into max. So max becomes 10. Next time if I enter 50, so now compare 50 with the max value 10. So 50 is greater than 10? Yes. So in that case 50 is to be assigned into max. So I'll assign 50 into max. So the new value of max is 50. Next time third, I'll be entering this 30 over here. So now compare 50, 30 is greater than 50? No. So we'll not do this process and we'll continue with the next one. So next is 80. Now compare 80 with 50. So 80 is greater than 50? Yes. In that case assign this 80 into max. So that max is now 80. And now last time let us now enter 35. So num4 is 35. Check 35 is greater than 80? No. And now this loop has already repeated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So now it will come out. At that time, what is the value of max? 80. So it will print 80. So max equal to 80. So this is what you are going to get in output. So in this is just a simple array example. There is no sign of pointer. Now I want to implement this program using pointer because it has got array. I want to make use of array with pointer. So now let's move forward. So this is the same program that we have just seen. So I'm not explaining anything. Now this is the program that is the same program with the usage of pointer. So the red font is nothing but the only changes that I have made. So I have declared along with everything else, I have added one pointer variable star ptr, and then ptr equal to num means again num is what? It is the array name, and so when I use array name, it is the address of entire array, which is very much similar to address of first element. So in fact I have forgotten to put ampersand over here, so it is ptr equal to ampersand num0. So the first element's address is put in ptr, and then again enter total elements and all this stuff. So total elements is 5, and then I read. Now instead of scanf percentage the ampersand num0, now num0 is nothing but the address is, let's say, 1000, so it is ptr. So I can have scanf percentage d ptr plus I. What is I? I is 0. So ptr plus 0 is ptr, and ptr is 1000. So whether you write scanf percentage d ptr, then also you are going to read something on 1000, or you can have scanf percentage d ampersand num0. Ampersand num0 is again 1000. So this both the things are same. Now after reading, then I am comparing that star ptr plus I is equal to 0. So star ptr is the content being pointed by ptr, that is 10. So 10 is greater than max, max is 0. Yes, in that case 10 is assigned into max. That's it. So this is the address, this is the contents. This is the address, this is the content. Next time I equal to 1. So 1000 plus 1 is 1002. Again it's because of integer, increment will be of 2 bytes. So 1000 plus 1 is 1002. So next time it will read this 50 and it will compare. If required, it will assign into max. So the logic will be completely similar, just the usage is different over here. Rather than using array, we have assigned the address of array into pointer, and then we are replacing array by the pointer variables, and the whole program will work in the same way. So we are going to get the output 80 equal to max. So then now let us try to use pointers with the second chapter, that is function. So we have already seen function. In fact, we had 6 different videos on functions. So if you do not know anything on functions, I would recommend you to go and learn function video first. So let us start understanding this function and pointers. So we have a function void change integer star integer star. We know that change is a function name with 2 arguments, and both are of type pointers because integer star integer star. So but pointer to integer, and this void represents this function does not return any value. So if I read entire statement, it would go like this: change is a function with 2 pointers as argument, both pointers are pointing to integer, and this function does not return any value. Then I am having 2 variables, x equal to 10 and y equal to 20. And before calling function, I am just printing the value of x and y. So it will print x equal to 10 and y equal to 20. So x and y are 2 variables in main function. 10 and 20 are the values, and let's say these are the addresses, and this is my main function. And if I print this before function, so it will give me x equal to 10 and y equal to 20. Now I am calling this function change. Now with 2 arguments, ampersand x and ampersand y. Now you need to understand this. Ampersand x is address of x. What is address of x? 1000. Ampersand y is address of y. What is that? 1002. So I am throwing 2 addresses over here. So the addresses are to be caught in pointers only, because pointers are the only thing which can hold the address. So these 2 addresses are being thrown over here, and these 2 x and y are of type what? Integer. So ampersand x and ampersand y are addresses of integer. So these are to be caught in pointers to integer. So then now look at this. This ampersand x is sent to p1, and p1 is a pointer. So ampersand x, that means address of X 1000 is assigned into P1. So now P1 is 1000 and ampersand Y, address of Y, that is 1002, that is assigned into P2. So P2 is 1002. So indirectly P1 is pointing to X and P2 is pointing to Y, because P1 and P2 are holding addresses of X and Y respectively. Now we have one more variable, temp, over here, and then this program is nothing but swapping the values of X and Y. So then first is temp equal to star P1. What is star P1? Content being pointed by P1. So right now P1 is pointing to X and star P1 is 10. So that 10 is assigned into temp. So now this temp becomes 10. Then now I am putting star P2 into star P1. Now this is very important. Star P2 into star P1. What is star P2? P2 pointing to Y, so star P2 is 20. So that 20 goes to where? 20 goes to the location being pointed by P1. So location being pointed by P1 is 10. So that these 20 goes to here. So look at here. So now this is 20. So in fact we have written star P1 equal to star P2. Actually the change is being made in X, because P1 and P2 are pointers. The change is being made in X, which is local variable to main. So this is the beauty of pointers. So even if we do not return anything, in fact if you remember in our function chapter, we had one limitation of function. Function cannot return more than one value at a time. So this limitation can be easily handled with pointers, because now if you can see with this example, you don't need to return anything. You can directly make changes into the main function's variable. So you don't need to return anything. So pointers are very powerful in this way. And lastly, I'm putting the value of temp into star P2. So what is temp? 10. Star P2 is content being pointed by this P2, that is 20. So this 10 is assigned into 20. So look at here, now it is 10. So even though there is no mention of X and Y over here, actually we made changes in X and Y. So then I'm not returning anything. You see, there is no return statement. So we are just going back over here and then we are printing the value of X and Y. So what is the new value of X? 20. What is the new value of Y? 10. So I'll be having 20 and 10 as output. Both the values have been swapped even without mentioning the variables X and Y in the function. So this is very interesting idea, how we can use pointers with functions to return multiple values indirectly. So let's have one more example to find out maximum. Now in this case, instead of we'll be even returning something. So in previous case we did not return anything. In this case we'll try to return one pointer variable. So let's see, this program is very simple. We have X and Y and I want to find out maximum. So for that the function is max with two arguments, both are pointers to integer, and it returns also one pointer. So how do I read this function? Max is a function with two arguments, both arguments are pointers to integers, and max function returns a pointer to integer. So then how do I call it? So first see, these are the three variables X, Y and P. So X, Y and P. X is 20, Y is 10, and let's say these are the addresses of X and Y. We are just assuming P is blank. Then now I am calling max ampersand X ampersand Y. Means I am calling max function with two addresses being thrown, ampersand X and ampersand Y. What is ampersand X? Ampersand X is 1000. What is ampersand Y? That is 1002. So now I am throwing ampersand X and that is being caught by PTR1. So ampersand X, that is 1000, is caught in PTR1. So PTR1 is 1000. And ampersand Y, that is 1002, that is caught in PTR2. So PTR2 is 1002. That means indirectly PTR1 is pointing to X and PTR2 is pointing to Y. Now what am I comparing? Star PTR1 with star PTR2. What is star PTR1? star PTR1 is nothing but content being pointed by PTR1. So that is 20. So this thing is 20 and star PTR2 is 10. So 20 is greater than 10. Yes. So in that case, return PTR1. So what is PTR1? 1000. So I am returning 1000. So that 1000 is returned and it is copied into P. So that 1000 is copied into P. So now P becomes 1000. That means P now holds address of X. That means indirectly P is pointing to X. So when I write this statement star P, what it will print? Star P is nothing but P is pointing to X. So content of X is 20. So maximum equal to star P. So maximum equal to 20. So it will give me output maximum equal to, so there is a mistake over here, maximum equal to 20. So that is what we are going to get the output, not 25, it is 20. And lastly, let us try to use pointers with structures. Again, these are very important if someone is going to learn advanced subjects like data structures. You'll be using this concept very frequently. So how it is used? We know that in structure, I guess we already had a couple of videos on structure. So if you have not gone through structure videos, I would recommend you to go through those structures video first. So, and this is the same example that we have taken in our earlier videos. So struct student with 3 members, roll number, name and CPI. Then in main program, I am declaring one variable, struct variable S, with values 53, Pradeep and 8.7. In fact, you can see the same values also are used over here that we have already used in our earlier videos. And then something new is there, star PTR. So PTR is a pointer, but this time it is pointer to structure variable. Now let us see how does it look like. So S is my structure. This is whole structure with 3 members, roll number, name, CPI, roll number, name, CPI, and the value of S dot roll number is 53, S dot name is Pradeep, S dot CPI is 8.7. So S dot roll number is 53, S dot name is Pradeep, S dot CPI is 8.7. And let's say this address of this entire structure is 1000. In fact, the size is 2 byte plus 20 byte plus 4 byte. So 2 plus 20 plus 4 is 26. So if it starts from 1000, the next structure would start from 1026. So because the size of this structure would be 26 bytes. Right. So this PTR, now let us try to assign address of S. What is address of S? 1000. Let us try to assign into PTR. So now PTR would be 1000. Indirectly PTR is pointing to this structure S. So now these members can be accessed using 2 different ways. The first way is either I can use this structure variable S or I can use this pointer. We already know how to access member using variable S dot. So there is a convention like S dot roll number, S dot name, S dot CPI, where S is what? S is nothing but structure variable. But when you are referring a structure using pointer, the convention is little different. In that case, you use pointer, hyphen and greater than sign. Hyphen and greater than sign without any space. So I'll be calling this arrow. So PTR arrow roll number. So PTR arrow roll number is 53. PTR arrow name. PTR arrow name is Pradeep. And PTR arrow CPI. So PTR arrow CPI is 8.7. Arrow is hyphen greater than sign. So I can refer this 53 using 2 different ways. S dot roll number, dot is the operator. So S dot roll number or PTR arrow roll number. I can refer this Pradeep in 2 ways. S dot name or PTR arrow name. So these are 2 different ways to refer the members. So now if I print these 3 variables using dot convention, S dot roll number, S dot name and S dot CPI, what am I going to get is 53, Pradeep and 8.7. And if I print them again, but now using pointer, so PTR, in fact this should be PTR not P because we have used this as PTR. So PTR arrow roll number is 53, PTR arrow name is Pradeep and PTR arrow CPI is 8.7. So I'm going to get the same output whether it is s dot something or ptr arrow something. So this is how you can make use of pointers in structure. So pointers can be used to access structure members. Let's have now the last program wherein we try to combine all these three things together: function, structure and pointer. This is going to be a very interesting program, though it's a small program, but I guess you will have better understanding how these concepts can be used interchangeably. So we'll have the same structure having three members: roll number, name, CPI. We have one variable of that structure with some initial value, same value 53, Pradeep and 8.7, and let's say one pointer variable P1. P1 is nothing but pointer to a structure student type. So again, this is something similar to the previous case. This is nothing but my main program having one structure and one pointer. Structure is having three variables and some values into it: roll number, name, CPI, three variables, and values are 53, Pradeep and 8.7 respectively. And let's say address of this S is 1000 and P1 is pointer. I have not put anything into P1. Now I am putting address of S into P1. So this address of S is 1000, that is put in P1. So now P1 is 1000. Indirectly P1 is now pointing to S. So now there are two ways to access these members: either s dot roll number or P1 arrow roll number, either s dot name or P1 arrow name, either s dot CPI or P1 arrow CPI. So these are two different ways we have seen in our last program. So now we are declaring one function void change struct student star. So change is a function with one pointer as argument, and that pointer would be of type student structure. This function does not return anything, so that's why it's void. So how do I read? Change is a function with one argument which is of type pointer to student type structure, and change function does not return anything. Now before I call this function, I just want to print P1 arrow roll number, P1 arrow name and P1 arrow CPI. So we know that P1 arrow roll number is 53, Pradeep and 8.7. So I'm going to get 53, Pradeep and 8.7 in output. And then I'm calling the function change P1. So I'm throwing P1. P1 means the address 1000, and that is caught in P2. So now this is my change function with one local variable P2. So this P1 is copied into P2. So now this is copied into P2. So now this 1000 is copied into this. So now P2 is also 1000. That means indirectly now P2 is also pointing to S. So P2 is also pointing to S. So if I write P2 arrow roll number, it would be 53. If I write P2 arrow name, it would be Pradeep. If I write P2 arrow CPI, it would be 8.7. So what am I doing is P2 arrow roll number plus plus. What is P2 arrow roll number? 53. So plus plus means 54. So look at here. Now it will be 54. And then P2 arrow CPI. Earlier it was 8.7. Now if I do minus 1, it will be 7.7. So even in function, I have not written S, but the changes are being made in S, and the S is the local variable to main. So again, this is a beauty of pointer. You can access the variable, local variable which are defined in main from the function. And then if I go back and if I again print P1 arrow roll number, so P1 arrow roll number, P1 arrow name, P1 arrow CPI. So you are going to get 54, Pradeep and 7.7. 54, Pradeep, and these are the change value. Earlier it was 53, now it was 54. Earlier it was 8.7, now it is 7.7. So this is how we can make use of, there is structure, there is pointer, and there is function. So we have made use of all these three concepts together: function, structure, and pointer. So with this, let me thank you for watching this video. I hope that by the end of these two videos, you'll be very much clear about the complex topic of pointer. In our next video, we'll be having the last chapter of this course, file management. So thank you friends for watching this video. Hope to see you in the next video on file management. Until then, enjoy C programming.